Now, adjacent to Dick Masterson, back in the day, Dick Masterson had a top A log. His name was Jesse. He's sort of adjacent to me in this podcasting sphere. He's adjacent to the Kino Casino. He's just in the ether of this talking about people in the internet sphere, right? I don't usually talk about him. I don't watch his podcasts. But I've mentioned him a couple times. And a couple streams ago, I talked about him because it might have even been last stream, because he made fun. I think it was Jim Acosta had used AI to resurrect the dead. And it was a dead kid from a school shooting. He resurrected this guy through AI and asked the AI version of this dead child what he thought about gun control. And the dead child AI gave a very creepy response that was very inappropriate. The whole thing was creepy. Jesse had a really, really funny idea. Now, to his credit, he's obviously a creative person. I like his set. I like the effort he puts into his stuff. I'm being nice here because I'm about to be really mean. And he had a great joke. He took one of the killers, several killers actually. I didn't play the whole segment. And he used AI to make them alive, and then asked them questions that were similarly inappropriate and gave them very funny responses that made just a really nice, well-crafted segment for his podcast. Props. I give him props when I see something that he does that's funny, and occasionally he is funny. But he took issue with me. He got angry at me, and he called me out. So I will reply, okay? First, let's listen to what he has to say about me.
Before we do, I mentioned at the top of the show, part of my reasoning for wanting to keep the show going and not getting this real job, I had to really weigh out this decision if I was going to do this or not. I don't know if you guys remember this, but last episode I was viral. Do you remember that? I was viral.
Oh, yeah. That was crazy.
I'm sort of a viral kind of.
I'm a killer gorilla.
So
Sensation.
I got viral, which is no big deal. It's like whatever. I mean, it's pretty cool. Doesn't translate to views in any way for the show. But what it does translate to, when people are co-signing, when they're saying they like this, it makes even your enemies have to concede that maybe, perhaps, you can be funny. I'm not saying this person is my enemy. Baby voice Josh Moon from Kiwi Farms, who has never once been able to mention me. And by the way, will only mention me basically at gunpoint. And when I have been forced down his throat so hard by being a part of the larger internet world that he is unable to dance around me anymore. All of Kiwi Farms does this, by the way. Every time he does get forced to mention me, he has to say, like, I hate this guy. He prefaces it every time. And there's a certain corner of the internet that has to do this. They cannot talk about Jesse or Podawful without saying, like, making sure everybody else knows, oh, by the way, this guy stinks. Right. I mean, he was funny this time. Do you know how many times I've seen this guy and all of his guys say he was funny this time, but... it's kind of sad. I don't ever hear them talk about the times I wasn't, by the way. I haven't heard any examples yet.
Happy to fill you in. So one of the things that he complains about is that I don't mention his podcast, and I don't. And I have a reason for this, actually. I had to pull up the archive because he's changed his site since. But when I first heard about Jesse and I went to his podcast site, you may notice that at the top, there's a bit of an eyesore. But do you know what it does? It has the name of his podcast there, and it's in a bunch of different contexts. And when I saw this, I immediately knew what the gambit was. He wants to troll people to say or to type the name of his podcast so that he can take a clip of you saying it or typing it and then put it into his gay-ass fucking brag montage. So the first thing I ever saw of this guy was this, and I realized what the game was, and I said, look, I'm real good at ignoring people. I've got hundreds of people who try to fuck with me and try to fuck with my site. And as a result, I've got really, really good senses for ignoring people, which is why I don't talk about him and I go out of my way to know nothing about him. So if you don't want to, if you want people to talk about your podcast, First and foremost, don't punish them for doing so. Second of all, yeah, Jesse is not usually very funny, and he's an asshole, and fuck him. Exhibit A. After Cobes died, he posted this. He says, "Time to pretend like you weren't laughing at King Cobra JFS for his entire life and now do a rip to a legend trolls remorse thing. You're the real reason his dad is crying." Let me say that again. You're the real reason his dad is crying. And he specifically called me out because I said, "Unfortunately, the legendary King Cobra JFS is likely dead. Dispatch recordings have the police calling for a coroner to his home. People had been sending him alcohol by the gallon through DoorDash. His health was in free fall, and Ozzy's death hit him hard." I have never made fun of King Cobra JFS in a cruel or malicious way. Cobra was autistic, and he ate burritos that had bugs in them. That is funny on its own. Like, I understand he just has really poor conditions of life, but he had a cult following. Not that he would not have if he was just normal. If he was just like a normal guy that was like low IQ and not very successful and not funny, he wouldn't have that circle around him. But because of his actual personality and combination of those things, he developed a cult following. People did like him. They wanted the best for him. Nobody wanted to see Redditors help him drink himself to death. And despite the fact that Jesse's been around for 10 years, he's been around forever. I don't know where he came from, but he's been around for a long time. He doesn't seem to get that. He's supposed to be a commentator on the culture of the internet, and he doesn't seem to understand the people that he's commentating on. People did have a lot of respect for Cobra. They thought he was funny. Yeah, he was wonky. He had a silly eye. He would sing completely unashamedly, despite being a terrible singer. But those are endearing qualities. It can be something that's like embarrassing for him, but also endearing to people. And I guess Jesse just doesn't understand that or pretends not to get people to talk about his fucking podcast. The other thing that he did that I don't have a clip for, unfortunately, is a while ago when we were talking about the Ricada body cam footage, this piece of shit straight up fucking AI generated fake body cam footage and put it out as the real deal, which people bought and shared around, which just gave Ricada a free out to pretend that the trolls were lying about them about everything. Because of course he would, because he's a conniving fucking snake. So Jesse handed him on a silver platter in a way that you couldn't ask for better help from. Like if Ricada had paid this man to do this, it would make a lot of sense. But no, Jesse just wanted to piss people off, or I guess just get eyes on his fucking podcast. I have the secret exclusive Ricada body cam footage videos. Please come watch my podcast. And then people watch it, and it's obviously AI generated. And it's like, if you want people to take you seriously, to advertise what you have to put out, and mingle with you in any way, shape, or form, first of all, know what the fuck you're talking about. Second of all, don't lie about people's intentions. And third of all, if you're going to lie about people's intentions, make sure that your intentions are honest. Because if you're a fucking liar, rat, nobody wants to help you. His podcast, by the way, I don't know if this is a joke or if he just wants attention like he always does, but he's saying that he has to get a job and stop doing the podcast as often because he can't get it up off the ground. Well, there you go. There's my advice laid out. Stop being a fucking dickhead. Stop punishing people for talking about you. Stop lying and stop getting shit wrong when it really matters, because people actually did like Cobes, and they didn't want him to die. And that's the kind of shit that you can talk about and get wrong and be a fucking dickhead about that isn't like funny haha trolling. It's like how you alienate your own audience. Like there are people listening to you who like Cobes who are not going to listen to you anymore because you're a fucking dickhead. And by the way, on a personal note, since I'm giving you advice, shave your fucking head. I don't know what it is about grown men and long hair, but you look like a Nancy boy. And if I wasn't on YouTube, I'd have other words for it. But you know who else has long hair and sunglasses they wear indoors? Digibro, for one. Digibro has long hair and glasses he wears indoors. Styx Hexenhammer has really long hair and wears sunglasses indoors. And Razor Fist has sunglasses he wears indoors and really long hair. It seems like there's a special phenotype of person that is inherently unattractive to most people that you're trying to fit into for some reason. So cut your fucking hair. I don't understand. Oh, Moist Critical. But he doesn't wear the sunglasses indoors. So you're talking about the level of not looking like a Nancy boy. Unfortunately for you, Moist Critical is a little bit less Nancy than Jesse. I don't know. Maybe you get more viewers. I respect the whole. I'm gonna put my fucking face on the. That's another thing he criticizes me for. I don't put my face on the camera. God knows why. I, in particular, would not want to jeopardize my own privacy. But I'm too much of a coward to show my own face. So, grats for you showing your own face. But if you're gonna show your own face, try not to look like a Nancy boy. I think that's a point in your favor. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's like a school shooter thing. Not that I can talk about that on YouTube, but it is. It's like, oh, I want to look like Dylan. Like, okay, cool. I hope that helps, Jesse.